Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and one of the topics that comes up for people like me who kind of originated on YouTube, starting this whole fake natty thing, of calling out fake natties in the industry, guys like Simeon, Panda, and I'm just using him as an example. This video isn't even going to be about him specifically. I've already covered that in the past. There's no need to go through that again. But the question becomes, hey, what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? What if someone like him or some of these other guys, a few of them are just so genetically gifted, maybe they produce triple the normal amount of testosterone or have a myostatin deficiency or some combination of genetic traits that allows them to just carry absolutely enormous amounts of muscle mass while simultaneously getting really lean and keeping that muscle mass when most natties can't. They're just so gifted that they can do this. Wouldn't that mean that you're wrong as far as what you're trying to do? So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. And the answer is no, that doesn't change the point. And the reason is because this isn't about trials. This isn't about taking anything away from these people. And that's what people need to understand. The entire point of the fake natty thing, and pointing it out, at least for me, I mean, I don't know what other people's goals are, but I know what my stated goals are, the way I feel about it personally, the way I've always publicly expressed it. I don't care about them as people. I'm not trying to attack them as people. I am trying to stop the industry itself from conning you and all these other naive kids and taking their money and using false advertising. That's my only concern. I don't care that these guys use gear. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. That's not the point. And the thing is, people will say, oh, you know, innocent until proven guilty. And you know what? I agree with that when we're talking about a court and we're talking about sanctions against someone. If you're talking about putting someone in jail or you are talking about confiscating their property, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There needs to be a fair and reasonable trial. And you know what? If I was talking about people going out and doing something in retribution, just evidence that I presented where that person can't defend themselves in a courtroom and have no way to just say, you're making up crazy shit. You're making up crazy shit about me. Yeah, people believe it, but, you know, this is fucking crazy and here's why. And they break it down to have an ability to defend themselves. It would be different, and that would be unreasonable for them to not have that chance if I was saying, I want you guys to go attack them, go to their house, harass them, stalk them, do crazy shit. But I don't want people to do stuff like that. There's no point in doing like that. In fact, anyone who does that over some internet figure, you're probably fucking psycho and you should be in prison. If you actually think that you should be taking retribution against internet public figures, then you're a fucking psycho fuck. I'm not encouraging people to do that. I don't want people to do that. I think people who do that need to be locked up in prison. Let's be realistic. So it's not about harming them or taking something from them or punishing them in any way. That's not what I care about. What I care about is people getting ripped off. And here's what I mean. The problem is that these fake natties are usually tied to products and services. They're a poster boy for it. Hey, I use this product. It's responsible. This swamp algae powder out of the bottom of a pond affects myostatin, and this is what I use. It helps me. I use this protein powder. It's responsible for me getting here. I use this fat burner. Here's my diet plan. I use this kooky-ass ketogenic diet, even though the scientific evidence says it has calorie per calorie, the least efficient fast loss diet. It just suppresses appetite. This is what I use. All right, they're selling some diet or method, or they're selling workout programs, or people are selling their workout programs. A product or an exchange of services is happening to promote something, or they're promoting an extreme idea hoping to make money off of it. Again, we're promoting a ketogenic diet as a way to get ripped. All right, this is, again, them profiting, or the industry or other individuals profiting off of their fake natty status. All right, they're profiting directly off of a lie, sometimes in selling services. And here's the point of why this wouldn't matter. Because the point is, the idea is being sold that if you take the supplements these people take, if you train the way that they train, eat the way that they eat, do the stuff that they do, and oftentimes this stuff is for sale, right? And there's the big kicker. It's for sale, or they're getting prestige or a medal or a placing or a ranking out of it. But usually there's a financial incentive here. That if you do, or the people out there do what they do, And it's always, well, if you got to do it for 10 years or 12 years like it did, then they'll be where you are, as if people keep gaining muscle, like pounds of muscle a year that far in. It doesn't work that way. You're down to ounces of muscle per year by that point, even the most gifted lifters. But that's, again, a big selling point to keep people roped in, so you can't disprove until everyone who's tried it has been doing it for a decade. Wink, wink. That's a con. Think about that one for a moment. But if you do this, that you'll achieve maybe not what they do, but close to what they do. And the reality is, this is conning people, because here's the point. Here's the point. Normally, people are using a bunch of drugs to achieve something that other people wouldn't achieve if they take the same supplements, which usually don't work, follow the same routine, follow the same diet. All right, they're using drugs to do something that gives them an enormous advantage over the customers and consumers who are buying this other stuff that they can't legally buy, these companies can't legally sell. They're doing something that gives them an enormous advantage, and therefore the products that are often being sold are not responsible for their progress. In fact, when someone is that genetically gifted, usually the extremely genetically gifted, their training programs don't matter a lot in terms of their body composition. To be fair, hypertrophy is one of the most varied responses that your muscles can get. There's a lot of things that require specific training stimulus. Gaining muscle doesn't. As long as there's overload of any type, whether it's adding reps or weight or volume or tension or metabolic fatigue, muscles will keep growing. All right, they will. When someone is truly genetically gifted, their training program probably doesn't matter that much. It only affects the amount of muscle they gain a little bit. So there's 6 different programs, 7 different programs that could easily get that person to the same size. But their program's going to be sold. Those supplements aren't doing anything. Their supplements are being sold. Well, the thing is, they're using something else that gives them an enormous advantage over the consumer who might be buying all this stuff. And therefore, it's not going to give them the results. Therefore, it's false advertising. All right, so follow me here. If they're so genetically gifted that they can hold 20 pounds of muscle over the average person, that they can naturally get leaner than other people while maintaining all of their muscle mass, due to some extreme genetic gifts that over 99% of the population don't have, as far as the consumer is concerned, the person buying the products, are they being ripped off just as badly? Now, people say, well, but, they still use that to do that. Well, they use that plus their superior genetic traits. It's just like they use that plus the trenbolone and the growth hormone, meaning it's less deceitful on the part of that individual. And that's the difference. Yes, the person doing it is less deceitful because they're not lying about using drugs. They're just genetically gifted, and maybe they don't even realize that their genetic gifts allow them to do really stupid shit and still achieve results that most people can't achieve even if they do everything perfectly. All right, so maybe they're not being deceitful. If they're using the drugs, they're actively being deceitful. If it's just their genetic gifts, they may not be actively being deceitful, but the end result to the consumer is the same. To the person spending their money on the products and the services, are they being fucked any more or any less if the person was intentionally deceiving them versus if they were unintentionally? No. They're still going to get the same inferior results after spending their money on the products. That's the point. Now, that being said, does that put that person in a different moral status? Yes. Meaning if they're just absurdly genetically gifted, and keep in mind, I don't believe most of these people are. I think there could be 1 or 2 out there in the fitness world who are. But the majority of genetically gifted people like that are wasting their fucking time in the fitness world. They should have gone in the NFL and made $10 million. I'm just saying. They should have picked that up in high school football, got their scholarship, went on to play some sport and make millions of dollars, not 6 figures. But, I digress. Very few of these guys are probably really going to be in that status. The point is, they're probably a better person than the fake natty, even if they achieve similar results. But the thing is, you don't really know if that's the truth. A lot of these guys, it's very clear that it isn't just superior genetics. Some of them, it's hard to tell. Some of them, it's very clear it's not just genetics. There's a lot of drugs involved. But the point being, to you, the consumer buying it, does it matter? Because you're not going to get any better results with the money that you wasted on the products or services if that person got those results with drugs or if they got those results due to insane genetic freakiness. See what I mean? It's still false advertising. The people are still being fucked over. And the thing is, it's fair to say that very few of those who are pulling this fake natty nonsense, who are marketing these products, at best 1% of them it actually is just genetics and they really are clean. So out of every 100 of them, it might only be 1 or 2 of them that really is legit. And you as the consumer, that's who's supposed to be making the judgment. That's who I'm trying to help with this stuff. When I talk about fake natties and the bullshit in the industry, I'm not talking about fucking them over. I'm not talking about calling them out or someone having a witch hunt. I'm talking about the people watching need to get smart to the game and realize those products and services may not be responsible for those results. That's the point. It's to make the consumer more savvy and more educated and more intelligent and more informed on how they spend their money. And I believe in that because I believe in capitalism. And capitalism, to function properly, its biggest failsafe is educated consumers. All right, that's how you balance out poor ethics in a capitalist system. The consumers need to be aware. And it sucks because in this particular industry, the people who try to call it out get absolutely destroyed. And let's be honest here, guys, I have been publicly fucking crucified over a lot of this. I mean, you guys who've watched and look around, I mean, my name has been smeared through the mud after I started this, to the point of sheer insanity. And the problem we have in this industry, there is no way to give consumer reports. There is no way to give the other side of the story and educate consumers, because the people who do get crucified by the industry. They get absolutely crucified, and that's what makes it difficult. And that's the interesting thing. It always comes back to, you know, defend the people who are most likely doing the actual lying and fucking people over and cheating people out of money. They're innocent until proven guilty. But the people who want to call it out to help the consumer, they get made into the bad guys. They get turned into Hitler-level evil, that they're so terrible that they should die. You know, and that's the way this industry has gone. Just an observation that I've seen with myself and other people. So just be aware of that, guys. And people pull this whole, well, innocent until proven guilty, but we're not trying to put them in prison. We're not trying to punish those individuals. We're just trying to educate the consumer. You don't need a trial to educate consumers to just be more savvy with their money. But the people who call them out, they don't get a trial either before they're crucified. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.